Hey guys, it's Beth, and today I have my project share for all of the 12 by 12 layouts I made using the Carta Bella collection, or Carta Bella's Our Family collection. And again, I did the preview for this the end of last week, and so I had two of the collection kits that I was using kind of leftover pieces and parts from, as well as a punch out sheet that I got in my most recent Echo Park Warehouse box. So was hoping to get some good family pages scrapbooked out of this, and it was kind of a challenge because I didn't have a whole lot of the patterned paper left, but I had tons of embellishments. So normally what I've gotten used to scrapbooking lately, because normally I have a lot of paper, a lot of the patterned paper, but not a whole lot of embellishments. So my focus has been on using up the paper, and so this is just the opposite. So I kind of feel like there's too many embellishments on some of these pages just because it's more than what I'm used to using. But I don't think I think it's fine. But it was a good challenge for me. It kind of got my brain thinking in a different direction. But like I said, my challenge was that there wasn't a whole lot of patterned paper to use. And so I kind of took to Pinterest just to kind of get myself started. And I found this sketch, and it is by, let me zoom in there, ValerieSalmon.com. And I liked it because it has this, like a pattern strip here, and then two strips going across down here. My photos were horizontal orientation, so I turned the sketch this way. And so I have this patterned paper piece kind of up here behind the top photo. And then these two strips right here are actually border stickers from the sticker sheet. So there were several 12 by 12 border stickers on the sticker sheet. So my title, I used this punch out kind of as the title for my page. And then originally was trying to do kind of like the visual triangle. So I have another sticker over here that says Our Family is what makes our house our home. And then these two little leaf or stem, vine, whatever stickers were from the sticker sheet. And so I just put a couple layers of like punched flower or cardstock flower punches in the center. And then I added my journaling over here. The sketch actually had it going this way, but because I had changed the orientation of the layout, I needed to change the orientation of the journaling. And then came back in kind of later at the end of the pad kill, and I ended up adding this family up here. And this was something I just cut out of another cut apart that I wasn't using. Wasn't sure how to use the rest of the same, but I knew I could use family, so I came back and added that kind of at the end. So if you've watched my videos before, you know that I tend to scrapbook in duplicate and sometimes triplicate because I have two daughters. So between them and myself, we each have our own set of albums, and so I tend to make a layout for each one of our albums. And I try to make the same layout for each album since I am physically making them all, but I don't want to like recreate a layout for each album, so we all get pretty much the same layout if possible. This case, they were all a little bit different based on the supplies I had. So this is the same layout, it's just slightly different because I have this family is everything tag up here. This was a punch out. And then I have a smaller family up here, and this got cut out of a sticker that I wasn't going to use the rest of the saying for. And this next layout I also used a sketch for, and this one says it's by Amy Alvis. And I will link both of the sketches in my description box below, and I will also include a link to my Pinterest board. I have a whole Pinterest board just for scrapbook page sketches, and then it's broken out by the number of pictures in each sketch. So that's kind of how I look for sketches, because I'm trying to find a way to use 5 photos or 2 photos or whatever. So I will link that in case anyone is interested as well. But this one I liked because I had a wider piece of patterned cardstock, and so I was trying to just kind of figure out a good way to use that. And so I liked this one because it had some different layers on it. So for the scalloped layer that's back there, I did just a black cardstock piece instead of a border strip. And then I have this larger, like almost just over 6 by 6 inches, I think, of the pattern paper, and then a border cut apart strip down here. And then I have my 2 horizontal pictures, and then I did do the angle on this one. So this punch out piece up here, it says growing up together, is kind of my title for this page. I tried to use all the embellishment pieces as my titles rather than trying to create a title and use up the embellishments. And then I just kind of added a little more interest to it. I have 2 flower pieces that I fussy cut out of another cut apart that I wasn't going to use. I didn't care for the saying, but I did like the flowers, so I fussy cut those out. And then I have another punch out down here that says Our Family Makes Me Happy. And then I took a tag from the punch out sheet and put my journaling on it, layered it on some black cardstock, and added some black ribbon. And then I came in at the end because I had found the sisters punch out. It had gotten buried and hidden, and so I wanted to use it, and so I came back in and added this later. And it still kind of gives the visual triangle, but it just kind of doesn't fit with the colors, but it still applies to the layout. So this layout I didn't use a sketch for, and I based the whole layout, like the colors, just on this piece right here. This was a punch out, and it's actually a frame with the center. The little sentiment can be a separate piece, but I left it all together as one and was kind of using that as my title for the page and also my color inspiration for the page. So I did happen to have like this chartreuse cardstock in my stash as an 8.5 by 11 sheet. So basically I just took it and lined it up over here on the right hand side and then rounded the corners over here on the left. And then I had this kind of swirly turquoise pattern, and so I decided to bring that onto the page to tie in with that turquoise flower in that element. And then just kind of staggered my photos a little bit, and then did my journaling, made it part of my title up here. This grouping down here, the Our Family, was from the punch out sheet. This blue check pattern was actually a branding strip that I cut down, and then this love was another word that I cut out of another cut apart that I wasn't going to use. So this My Family was a sticker that I cut down just because I didn't care about the rest of the saying. And then I added these turquoise pattern strips over here just because I was trying to break up some of that green and also wanted to pull the turquoise across the page. This daughter sticker I ended up adding later on because I was trying to use it up, and it is, my dad and his daughters, so. And then I kind of wanted to break up the turquoise on this side a little bit and anchor it down with some more cream. So I just took some half circle punches and made a little scalloped element over here. And then this little turquoise strip up here I had to add because there was some kind of marking, like something had gotten on the page. And so I went to erase it and it came off, but then it tore my paper. So I had to cover that. So I just added it as like a file folder top. Sorry, I had to pause the video. We had an Amazon delivery, and our dog just goes totally nuts whenever we get a delivery. So there was no way I could talk or focus. She was barking. So anyway, the next layout is a 2-page spread, and I based this one on these 2 cut aparts, this 4x6, which says there is no better friend than a sister, and the 3x4 that says growing up together. So I was trying to figure out how to use those together along with the butterfly paper on this one. So I kind of counted this 4x6 as a photo element just because it was the same size. So I have 2 photo size elements on this page and then 2 photo size elements on that page, and was trying to tie them together with the paper. So I had this bigger strip, or this bigger piece of the butterfly paper, and so I just left it at the size it was, put it behind the 2 photos. I maybe should have pushed the photos over, but I kind of wanted to see the butterflies on both sides. And then I wanted to add a little bit more color on this side. So there was this piece of the turquoise swirl again, and it was about 3x4, and so I kind of just treated it as a little journaling card and then added the butterfly punch out here in the center of it. Added the sister sticker down here, and then this was a sticker border strip that was 12 inches, cut it down, half is down in this corner and half is at the top up here, just so it kind of helped tie the two pages together, since this didn't really tie as well as I would have hoped. So this page, I have the 3x4 card, a photo, my second photo, and was trying to group them all together. I needed to fill space, so I added some more butterfly paper here just in between, and then I added a strip of that turquoise swirl to pull it across and balance out this side. And then I just added this "We Are Happiest Together" sticker down here. And then on the sticker border strip up here, I just have a butterfly punch out. So again, I did 2 of these layouts, and they are essentially the same, except for on this one, this is like a little butterfly sticker, and the butterfly element over here on this side was different just because of the punch outs that I had. So this next one, I was kind of running out of the patterned paper. I knew I wanted to save some for the cards that I was going to do. So I took this background stamp that I got in my most recent Echo Park warehouse box, and it was from the Our Family line, so I was like, that's perfect. So I used this and my Misty to create kind of a pattern, my own pattern paper. So I just took, I took an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper and cut it down to be like 8 by 6 maybe. And so I would kind of line it up in my Misty. I would stamp a section, slide my paper, line the edge of what I had just stamped up with, the stamp on my Misty, stamped again, would slide the paper, stamp again until I had covered the full sheet or the full strip. And I did that a couple times. So this is kind of a good way to give myself kind of a subtle pattern here in the background. And so this one, the grandmother sticker here is kind of acting as my title. And then I just added up here a little grouping of flowers that I had punched out and had in my stash already, and then I have a little yellow brad kind of going through there. I did my journaling down here and layered it onto another punched out tag with some ribbon. Here's a little butterfly sticker. Over here is pieces of my heart punch out. And then down here at the bottom, this was actually the sentiment that came inside like one of those frames that was a punch out. And so I just put it on some fishtails, made a little fishtail banner to go behind it, and kind of just to add a little bit of something down here in this corner. And then 2 little flower stickers on either side of that. So this one is essentially the same layout again, just kind of different punch outs. Like there's a saying up here, the utensils over here, and this another saying. This time I put my journaling inside one of those frames, and then this sentiment over here was actually what was inside the frame. And I used 2 turquoise brads, teal brads from my stash down here, and then again put the fishtail banner behind the little punch out sentiment. I think of these 2, I like this one better because the grandmother stands out more as a title rather than just part of a grouping of embellishments on this one. And this last one I used about a 6 by 12 inch strip of patterned paper, and I just put that in the center of my page and then grouped all of my photos here in the middle. And so you just saw a little bit of border on both sides of the patterned paper. I used this family kind of as my title. It says family where life begins and love never ends. And then I found this little piece and decided to group it with it, but I don't necessarily love how that looks. I almost need something to kind of tie it together right here. I wonder, I have some more of those little flowers that you saw in one of the last layouts. I wonder if that would be, like, at least help it kind of group it together. So I may play with that and come back and add some of those flowers. But this says family means putting your arms around each other and being there. And then up here is a sticker that I cut apart, and it just says my family on that section. I have a little flower over here. daughter sticker in one of my hairs. Daughter sticker up there, and then down here on my journaling I wanted to bring some color down, so I have another flower sticker over here. So that was kind of my challenge with the scrapbook pages, was trying to use up as many of the non-mother-father embellishments as I could, because I wanted to save the mother-father ones for Mother's and Father's Day cards. So I was trying to use up as many of the embellishments I could, along with as little of the pattern paper as I could, because I also wanted to save some pattern paper for my cards. So, but I got, 9 layouts, so that was pretty good. I got a lot of family pictures documented and out of my photo box and ready to go into my album, so I do feel good about that. And this challenge was good because it kind of got my brain thinking in a different way, so that's always good. But hopefully I gave you guys some ideas on how to scrapbook 12 by 12 layouts with scraps. If you have any questions on any of the layouts or the sketches, please let me know in the description box below, and stay tuned because the next video will be the card share. I know the card share is what most of you love, so that is coming up next later this week. If you haven't subscribed already, please do so, because I have more ideas on how to use up the papers in your stash, get them out of your drawer and into some pretty projects. But as always, I thank you for your time today, and I hope you have a crafty day.